How's it going, boys? Johnny Superbman here. I'm bringing you a quick video about the new NHL Realignment. I know you guys are used to the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Well, I don't know if it's going to be next year or the year after that. They're changing it to a 4-conference system. Okay? I don't know what the names of the conferences are going to be, but they're broken down like this. In Conference A, you have Anaheim, Calgary, Colorado, Edmonton, Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Jose, and Vancouver. Conference B, you have Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Detroit, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, and Winnipeg. In Conference C, you have Boston, Buffalo, Florida, Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa Bay, and Toronto. And in the last conference, you have Carolina, New Jersey, the New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Washington Capitals. Now, I know you guys are asking, why are they changing it? Well, there's a few things that they're trying to accomplish here. They want to gain rivalries. They want people to have solid rivalries within their division. So what they're going to do with this is, okay, so you see how everyone has their own divisions. If you're any teams in your same division, you're going to have 6 games during the regular season. 3 at home, 3 away. So, for example, if we look in Conference C, the Toronto Maple Leafs, we're going to play Tampa, Ottawa, Montreal, Florida, Boston, and Buffalo all 6 times, 3 and 3. But the greatest thing is, not only will we play those teams, we're going to play every single team in the NHL and all the other conferences, 1 home, 1 away. So you're going to see every single player play at home. Every team's going to have a chance to see every single team play. And I think that's a great idea. But here's the shifty part of this. Playoff situation. Okay, so in every division now, it's the top 4 teams make it into the playoffs. There's no longer, where it's the top division and then it rounds out the bottom 5 teams. No, it's the top 4 in each division, and then the first 2 rounds in the playoffs, you only play the teams in your same division. So let me break it down for you guys here. First, we'll bring up the stats from last year. Now, here are the results from last year. After the regular season was done, if we look at both conferences, there's 2 columns. On the left, the teams that made it into the playoffs, and on the right, the teams that did not qualify for each conference, okay? This is the current system that the NHL has. And last year, if we look at the teams that did not qualify, there was only 2 teams, Dallas and Calgary. Dallas had 95 points and Calgary had 94 points, okay? If we look at the Eastern Conference, well, the New York Rangers made it into the playoffs only having 93 points. So you can make the argument that Dallas and Calgary kind of got shafted. But you don't see this too often in the current system. I mean, it's not that bad. It's by 1 or 2 points, and the conferences are completely different. You don't see Eastern teams playing Western teams too many times in the same year. So it works out. But look at this now. If we put the same results from last year into the new system that they have, look what happens. If one conference has a stacked conference, it's going to be tough for those teams in that conference. Okay, if we look at Conference A, see the hash mark, the line across, the top 4 teams in each conference make the playoffs. So that's how it works now, okay? 16 teams, the top 4 in each conference. No wild card, nothing like that. Look at the LA Kings in Conference A. They don't make the playoffs with 98 points. In Conference B, they have more points than Chicago and Dallas. In Conference C, they have more points than Montreal and Buffalo. And in Conference D, they have more points than the New York Rangers. So, if we were using this new system for last year, with last year's results, the LA Kings wouldn't have made the playoffs with 98 points, yet they would have had more points than 5 other teams that did make it into the playoffs. So this is what I'm talking about, shady playoffs. Now, the reason that it's still a little bit different is because last year still had last year's schedule. This year's schedule, you're going to be playing more games against teams in your division. So it really is a little playoff in your divisions. The first 2 rounds are going to be in your division. So if we look at Conference A, Vancouver, San Jose, Anaheim, and Phoenix. The first round would be Vancouver versus Phoenix and San Jose versus Anaheim. First versus fourth, second versus third. Then the second round would be the winners of those 2. So we'll say Vancouver versus San Jose. Okay? And then the winner of that will go on to the winner of other conferences, and then the 2 winners of those will face in the Stanley Cup final. They haven't figured out what round 3, what the system's going to be yet, but they do know for the first 2 rounds you're going to play within your division. They want to create rivalries. So if you're a Toronto fan, the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, you're going to see Montreal, Tampa, Boston, Ottawa, or Florida. So now teams can scout. They can build their teams knowing who they're going to face in the first or second round. Toronto is not going to face Washington in the first or second round. Vancouver is not going to face Detroit or Chicago. That's another thing. Vancouver is not going to face Chicago until at least the 3rd round now. Okay, so it's going to work like that. Teams need to look at their divisions a bit more, you can look ahead a lot better now. See what games are more important. Divisional games, so important now because it's the top 4 in each division. If you lose to a game against a team in your own division in regulation, say the Dallas Stars beat the St. Louis Blues in regulation, that's a 4-point game now. That's huge. So I like it. I must say I do like this new system. But another shady thing is, look at Conference C and D. They only have 7 teams compared to Conference A and B, which have 8 teams. Now you can make the argument that it makes the conference easier because there's less teams. It makes it harder to get into the playoffs because it's more competitive. You can speculate on both sides. We're not going to be able to tell until an actual season plays through. But in general, I like it. I like the fact that we're going to be able to see every single team at least once in the ACC. Okay, I'm going to see Taylor Hall and Nugent Hopkins play in the Air Canada Center. I'm going to get to see Anze Kopitar in the Air Canada Center. Datsuk, Ovechkin, Crosby, all in the Air Canada Centers. And the same thing for everybody else. If you want to go spend some money, you'll be able to see any player you want because every team will be coming to your hometown. So that's the good thing. So I want your guys' opinion on this whole new conference system. I think it has some pros and it has some cons. So give me your opinion. I want to see it. All right, boys? Just a quick little video about the new NHL realignment. Take it easy, boys, and I hope this educated you.